Are you up to date on the latest gossip between Chris Rock and Will Smith? It's been almost a year since Will Smith made headlines by slapping Chris Rock during the Oscars. And now Chris Rock is finally ready to share his side of the story. In his Netflix special, Selective Outrage, Rock opened up about being slapped by Smith in front of millions of viewers around the world. The pain and humiliation linger as he reveals what happened that fateful night, plus what he thinks about Smith now. Tune in to learn everything you need to know about this shocking Hollywood scandal. Wait! Didn't you press the subscribe button? What are you waiting for? You don't want to miss this. So be sure to subscribe now and stay tuned for the full scoop on Celebrities Now, your only source for the latest celebrity scandals and news. It's time to find out what really happened between Chris Rock and Will Smith. Let's start from the beginning. When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock during the Oscars, what led up to it? How did everyone react on that night? What did Chris Rock think of it? And what does he think now? Find out the answers to all these questions at Saturday's Netflix show. At the Hippodrome Theater in Baltimore, Maryland, Chris Rock shared a story that he found amusing. During his performance of Selective Anger 1 year prior at the Oscar ceremony, Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hairless head, which prompted Will Smith to give him a lighthearted slap on the stage. Even now, over a year later, Rock still finds it funny and recounts the embarrassing moment with enthusiasm during his set. As part of this comedic special, Rock also added some details about why Smith gave him the slap. Namely, because he thought it was necessary to respond to Rock's inappropriate comment about Jada and how he reacted to it. Exactly 1 year ago, Rock said, "I got struck by this mother effer," and everyone knows it. As a result, onlookers often ask, "Did it hurt?" Of course, we are still in pain. Song lyrics from Summertime keep playing in my head. After Rock made a jest about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head due to baldness, the actor struck him in the midst of the show during last year's Oscars. Smith went on to receive the award for Best Performer. He had been screaming at Rock from the audience and decided to come up on stage and still strike him. However, Rock ultimately decided not to file charges. After a few days, Rock gave a performance in Boston. But during that performance, he said, "I'm still kind of assimilating what occurred, so I'll get to that BS in due time." It will also be both serious and humorous. The performer has gone on a global tour since the event, but has never addressed it publicly until now. After a month had passed, it was said that he made light of the situation by saying he wouldn't deal with the smack until he was compensated. By the end of the special, Rock had explained that Smith had been more upset with his cheating wife, with rapper August Alsina, who had confessed on an episode of her 2020 Facebook program, Red Table Talk. This awkward incident has been a constant reminder of how one-sided relationships can be. Will Smith is only pretending to be outraged about certain things, Rock claimed, even though it is a common knowledge what the F occurred. "My life was relatively free of commitments. The mother of Will Smith's son acquaintance was having an affair. Usually, I wouldn't bring that up, but it was posted online for some reason." Everyone here has experienced the heartbreak of a cheating partner. Unfortunately, not one of us here has ever been caught cheating and then had to sit through a broadcast interview with the individual we deceived with. He continued that she did more damage to him than he did to me. At one point, Will Smith portrayed Muhammad Ali on the big screen. "To what extent do you believe I tried out for that part? In New York City, he portrayed Muhammad Ali, and I played Pookie." Rock explained that his performance was titled The Slap because of the altercation, which was quite newsworthy. His show dealt with the incident from an entertaining perspective, but he also made sure to emphasize the importance of being able to talk about it. He claimed he didn't get back at me that night because my folks had intervened, for the simple reason that is how I was brought up. Also, did you hear what I was instructed by my parents? When the performance was over, he threw his microphone to the ground and yelled at the audience, "Don't brawl in front of white people." This gesture depicted his restraint. This incident was used to illustrate the importance of treating circumstances as seriously as needed. People have to practice respect, even when in disagreements. The whole experience was an eye-opener for many. Respect and understanding are valuable components of healthy relationships. Smith has openly apologized and personally called out to Rock to express his regret for the event. His explanation for the strike came out of pent-up frustration, as he explained to Trevor Noah on The Daily Show in November 2022. Even though Smith openly apologized to Rock on Instagram the day after the strike, he has brought up to the incident several times since. "I feel ashamed because my behavior was not worthy of the guy I aspire to be." Months later, he reported that he had attempted to contact Rock, but Rock was not willing to have a conversation. To this, a viewer said, "Imagine you slap someone on national TV and you say the person should move on. Let's not forget that Chris is a father and someone's son. You don't get to control how he reacts." Another commented, "Hats off to Netflix for giving Chris the platform not only to share his comedy, but also to release what was held in for an entire year. How dare Will Smith have the audacity to suggest Chris to let it go? Really? The public even thinks that the apology was on point. Will wasn't apologizing to Chris on social media. He was apologizing to save his image." Rock has since opened up about the incident, stating that he was extremely frustrated at the time and had difficulty controlling his anger. He continued to say that he had held on to frustration for a very long time, and that it was just not one particular event or individual. He used the incident as an example of how everyone can learn from their mistakes and move on. Rock was also asked in several interviews to comment on the value of forgiveness, understanding, and respect that needs to be shown in intrapersonal relationships. In addition, he discussed the importance of seeing situations from multiple angles instead of just one's own perspective, and how this can lead to a more meaningful understanding. The comedian concluded his monologue with the call for the audience to be more understanding of those who are going through hard times. "We must have empathy for those who are going through a tough period," he said. He encouraged the audience to listen and respect one another, emphasizing that it is important to have an open dialogue. "Sometimes, the best way to deal with the situation is to talk," he concluded. So viewers, the lesson we learn here is to listen and respect one another. We may not agree on all points, but understanding each other's perspectives is essential to forming meaningful relationships. We hope you enjoyed this video and the lesson on understanding. We make sure to bring more H-Town stories that hit home to you. So until next time, stay safe, like the video, comment with your point of view, and wait for the next video.